Okay, 5P. So we're going to continue the lesson for Tuesday, April 21st. Today's lesson is multiplying decimals by 100 and by 1,000. So this is very similar to multiplying decimals by 10. Okay, I'm going to try to keep the video short and sweet. So if I have 6 tenths, right? And I multiply it by 10, we know it becomes 6. So what if I have 6 tenths times 100? That would mean it's 6 tenths times 10 and then times 10 again. So keep that in mind. So 6 tenths times 10 would be 6. That 6 would go here, but it's 6 tenths times 100. So I'm going over two place values. So it's times 10 times 10. It would be 60. So 6 tenths times 100 times 10 times 10 is 60. This is 6 hundredths, so 6 pennies times 100. If you could even just think about it, if I have 6 pennies 100 times, you should know that that makes $6. But I'll show you in a place value chart, right? If I have 6 hundredths this time, I know times 10 would be, it would go here, 6 tenths, but it's times 100. So it's 6 hundredths times 10 times 10, which is times 100, right? So the answer is 6. Okay, what if I have 6 thousandths times 100? Okay, again, it's 6 thousandths times 10, right? If it was 6 thousandths times 10, the answer would go there. It would be 6 hundredths, but it's times 10 times 10, so it would be 6 tenths, 6 times. Okay, it's important to think about that pattern. We're multiplying times 100. Okay, so the same idea applies if I have 4 times 100, or if I have 4.1 times 100, we're multiplying each part of the decimal by 100, by 10, and then by 10 again. So 4.1 times 10 times 10. Again, let's use that place value chart. It's really helpful. So 4.1. The 4 times 10 times 10 is 400, right? It was 4 times 100 is 400. I have a dime, or a tenth, times 10 is 1, times 10 is 110, right? So I just took my 4.1 and I multiplied it by 100. I moved it over 2 decimal places because it's times 10 times 10. It's 410, right? I would need to put a 0 there so that I know it's 410 and not 41. If I have 12 thousandths times 100, okay, let's see our place value chart. So 1 hundredth times 10 times 10 times 10, 2 thousandths times 10 times 10. I moved them both over 2 decimal places, right? So my answer is 1.2, right? Okay, so now we have times 1,000. So if you think for a second, 10 times 10 times 10 makes 1,000. If I have 10 times, it's 100. I have 100 10 times, it makes 1,000. So I have my 6 tenths times 10 times 10 times 10. So it goes over times 10 times 10 times 10. Okay? So just keep track. Use a place value chart. I want you to get in the habit of even drawing your own. I'm going to demonstrate for you how you could just quickly jot one down, or keep it in mind, as you solve problems with decimals. Now I have 6. That one was 6 tenths. This problem is 6 hundredths times 1,000, right? Times 10 times 10 times 10. So my answer is now 60. Now I have 6 thousandths 1,000 times. So if you even think to yourself, just like off the top of your head, if I have 6 thousandths 1,000 times, what would I have? So I have 6 wholes, right? If I have 1 thousandth 1,000 times, I have 1. So if I have 6 thousandths 1,000 times, I have 6, right? Times 10 times 10 times 10, and moves over to the decimal place 3 times. Okay, so when it has 2 digits, you just have to be a little bit more careful. 36 thousandths. So let's just think let's pretend it was 3 hundredths. So 3 hundredths times 1,000 times 10 times 10 times 10. 6 thousandths times 1,000 times 10 times 10 times 10. That's the same as before. That's the previous problem. It built up on it. Built up on the previous problem. Okay, 81 hundredths times 1,000. 81 hundredths times 10 would be 8.1. 81 hundredths times 100 would be 81. So 81 hundredths times 1,000 would be 810, right? Okay, so I'm actually going to demonstrate just quickly a few things for you. Already, that's 6 minutes. Oh man. All right, well, I won't have a part 2 hopefully. So if I have 81 hundredths times 10, like I was saying before, right? So let's rewrite our problem. It was 81. My decimal's currently here, but my number's going to get bigger because I'm multiplying by 10. So now I have 8.1 if it's times 10. If I have 0.81 times 100, my new answer would be, right, 1 times 10 times 10 would be 81. This is 8.1. If I have 0.81 times 1,000, which is 10 times 10 times 10, would mean my number would get 10 times bigger, 10 times bigger, 10 times bigger. It would be 810. Okay? You could think of it individually like 8 times 10 times 10 times 10, or you could think of it as 0.81 times 10 times 10 times 10. Okay? So keep that in mind. 5p, good job.